Zion National Park is amazing. The problem is, everybody knows how great it is, so its crowds are massive, traffic is terrible, and lines are long. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Luckily, the areas around Zion have even more adventures, with much smaller crowds. These adventures include slot canyons, waterfalls, small towns with cute diners, and much more. So in this episode, I'm going to show you the best day trips that sit just outside of Zion, but I'll also give you a couple to avoid. This list is in no particular order, but I will let you know which one was my favorite. The first stop on the list is Mount Carmel Junction. This little town is 20 minutes from the east entrance of Zion. To call it a town might be generous. It's small. It has a couple hotels and a handful of restaurants. Without a doubt, the best restaurant is the Thunderbird. This little diner has delicious food, especially breakfast. But the thing that kept us coming back for more was the pie. There were several flavors, and we tried them all, but our favorites were the chocolate cream and the apple pie. The apple pie comes with rum sauce, and you can get a scoop of ice cream with it for $1. Do yourself a favor and treat yourself to a piece of pie at the Thunderbird. As a side note, the trailhead for the Belly of the Dragon is only a couple minutes away from the Thunderbird. This trail has become popular on social media, but it's not really a hike. It's a drainage tunnel. You can walk through it and it makes for some nice photos, but this stop only takes a few minutes. Although if you have kids, they will love it. If you're visiting East Zion, Mount Carmel is a great addition to your itinerary, since it's only 20 minutes away. Next is the little national monument to the north, Cedar Breaks. Cedar Breaks National Monument is 35 minutes from Cedar City, and it rests at an elevation of 10,000 feet. It gets cold up here, so the monument is only operational in the summer and some of the fall. Speaking of fall, the drive to Cedar Breaks from Cedar City is particularly nice in autumn. The monument is centered around the Cedar Breaks Amphitheater, which looks like a miniature Bryce Canyon. You can enjoy several overlooks around the amphitheater, with Point Supreme and Sunset Point being the best ones. The monument also has a couple great hiking trails. The Alpine Pond Trail is a short trail through the forest, to a beautiful pond. And the Bartizan Trail is a 5-mile round trip that walks along the rim of the amphitheater. The trail has great views, and it ends with a gorgeous view of Bartizan Arch. Morgan and I did everything at the monument in a single day, and we really enjoyed it. The crowds were small and the atmosphere was relaxed, especially when you compare it to Zion. The next stop on the list is the town of Kanab. This little town sits to the east of Zion, and it's about 30 minutes from the east entrance of the park. Kanab has gift shops, great restaurants, and Brown Box, which is one of the best dessert shops in the area. Brown Box has skillet cookies topped with ice cream, and they are delicious. On top of that, if you add little adventures like the Sand Caves and the Moki Cave, Kanab can easily fill up an entire day. Kanab has a ton of adventures to enjoy. If you're visiting Zion, I always recommend to lodge as close to the park as possible, if it's your first time. But if you've been to Zion before and you're looking to explore the surrounding area, then Kanab is a great choice, because a lot of the adventures on this list and many more can be accessed easily from Kanab. As a quick side note, whenever I bring up Kanab, people will always bring up Buckskin Gulch and Coyote Buttes. Buckskin Gulch is the longest slot canyon in the world, and Coyote Buttes North is home to the Wave. These areas are beautiful, but they are a couple hours from Zion, and they just don't make sense for a day trip, unless you're staying someplace closer like Kanab or Mount Carmel. Also, don't bank on winning a permit for the Wave. We entered the drawing 31 times before we finally won. If you want to hike it, try to get a permit in advance, but don't plan your trip around winning one in the daily lottery. It's very unlikely. Of course, if you do end up winning a permit for the Wave, you should do everything in your power to get there. Those permits are like gold, and they don't come around very often. Just stay a little closer, so you don't spend half your day driving to the trailhead. The next stop is Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park. This park is located between Zion's east entrance and Kanab, and this is one of the more unique stops in southern Utah. As you would assume from its name, this state park is covered in sand dunes. This is a big destination for Jeeps, Can-Ams, and 4x4 enthusiasts. But this park also allows you to sandboard. You can rent a board from the visitor center, then carry it to the top of a dune, and have at it. We had a lot of fun at this state park, but we did not have a lot of fun walking back to the top to take another ride on the board. That was a good workout. Coral Pink Sand Dunes has an admission fee, and boards cost another $25 for the full day. My favorite stop just outside of Zion is without a doubt Kanarra Falls. This trail is located 15 minutes south of Cedar City. This hike is gorgeous, and overall it's not that difficult, except where you have to climb over boulders, and you will have to hike through the water, but it's not very deep. The path follows a beautiful creek, as it passes through narrow slot canyons. The trail looks particularly stunning around sunset. These little red rock canyons glow. And there are two gorgeous waterfalls, Lower Kanarra Falls and Upper Kanarra Falls. It's a little bit of a process to reach the upper falls, and the staircase at the lower falls is a little sketchy, but it's worth it in my opinion. Unfortunately, you will have to have a permit to hike this trail, and they can be purchased at kanarrafalls.com. Children 7 and under hike for free, while everyone else is $15 a person. You will want to plan ahead for this one, because permits can sell out weeks in advance, especially during peak season. There are two other day trips from Zion that I get asked about a lot: the North Rim of the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon. First off, I want to say that I love both of these parks, but both of them are a good distance away from Zion. I don't recommend doing them as day trips. If you're staying in Springdale, Bryce Canyon is a 2-hour drive, and the North Rim is a 2.5-hour drive. That's a lot of drive time. Don't waste your vacation in the car driving from place to place. If you want to enjoy these destinations, I recommend booking a separate stay at either location. And if you want to learn more about Bryce Canyon or the North Rim, I've made full episodes for each location, and you can watch those videos right here.